once again. As we are going through the series of lecture with the textual analysis of Iliad Book 1, we have completed part 1 the day before yesterday, and it is our part 2, and in this video we will come across from the lines we have completed in our part 1 lecture. We have completed part 1 at a critical juncture when at a point Agamemnon replied with the quotation of Achilles when he spoke that he is now in a mood to go back from here and he wants to return back because he felt very much ashamed, very much dishonored, and his respect is even curbed with the arrogance of that man, that King Agamemnon. And so he was not in a mood to remain in that particular city. And after that, Agamemnon also replied very harshly that he even don't care whether Achilles stay or not. And he also said that he had many others warriors apart from him, and they will fight very bravely with Agamemnon. And at that point we have stopped, and today we will begin after that point. So let's begin our lecture.
As Agamemnon spoke, Peleus' son Achilles was overwhelmed with anguish, heart torn two ways. These two lines. As Agamemnon has finished his speaking, Peleus' son, that means Achilles, was overwhelmed. That means his heart was covered with severe mental torture. And then with anguish, with so much angerness in his heart, torn two ways. That means whenever we get heartened, we feel our heart has been torn apart, in division. That's the way. And he said that his heart, after listening the words of Agamemnon, is now in a breaking state, debating in his saggy chest what he should do. And then in his mind a kind of battle is going on, that debating. Whenever we see a kind of a film or in a cartoon cinema like that, a person was in a mood to do some kind of crime or something related to his good job, there will be the two states of mind. And in the case of, if you have read the book Dr. Faustus, when he wanted to sign a bond with that evil devil, that Mephistopheles. So at that point in his mind there was two angels, a good angel and bad angel. Good angel always warning Dr. Faustus that you should not do such kind of things. Such practicing of black magic is not a job of you. You are a professor, you are a scholar, you can't do such thing. On the other hand, the bad angel, that means the angel who was inducing, who was consequently energizing, giving energy to Dr. Faustus. Just stop such kind of things. Have you ever thought of that pleasure, that beauty of practicing black magic? Actually, someone leads to the bad way, someone leads to the good way. So that's a kind of debate. That's a kind of debate was also going on in the mind of Achilles, and that has been discussed at saggy chest. That means a chest which has been broken. Why broken? Because the words, the ways of talking to Achilles, the condemning by Agamemnon has made the chest broken. That's why saggy chest. What he should do. That means what Achilles should do at that particular point. Should he draw out the sharp sword on his thigh? That means what is the expected thing to him? The first thing he is thinking that he should draw out. That means he should bring out the sharp sword, the sword which has been kept by Achilles in his seat, and by bringing it, Achilles should attack Agamemnon on his thigh. Here his thigh mean that Agamemnon's thigh, inside the crowd, and by doing that he will make one thing. He will incite, he will provoke the crowd that he is combating with the king. So a kind of a fear that was going on also in the heart of Achilles. And then kill Atreus's son. King Atreus has two sons. One is Menelaus and the other one is Agamemnon. So here Atreus's son means that Agamemnon. This is the first one. And the second option is that, or suppress his rage. Should he suppress the anger which he is feeling at that moment? That was his concern. So that's why he said, or suppress his rage or anger. His rage means that Achilles' rage, or in other words like that, control his fury. So that when Achilles is asking himself that should he bring out his own sword and attack Agamemnon, and on the other hand he is also thinking that should he control his anger. So the two things are like that of breaking his heart. And there is one fear that people will provoke, and they also go against him. So that's a concern to him. As he argued in his mind and heart, a sledge huge sword part way from its shape. A sledge, that means he, in a moment of rage, thinking of that he will attack, he will kill that man, kill Agamemnon. So that's why he put his hand on the sledge, that means on the part on which someone catch the sword, catch the thing, that means that handle. Okay, move the sword little out. So that's why a little part has been come out from the sheath, from that sheath. Okay, and move the sword little out, but maintain continuous contact with it. That means he did not leave his hand from the sword. He keep it there. He keep it. That means his hand is in contact with the sword, and that suggests that he is now in debate also. That means he is not now in a mood to just bring out and kill that Agamemnon. Still the debate is going on. At that moment, at that particular moment, Athena, you know, Athena is the goddess, and Athena is called the goddess of wisdom. Athena is a strong supporter of the Achaeans, that means the Grecian people. Actually, having also been rejected by Paris, I think you have recalled the scene in which Paris have chosen Aphrodite instead of that Athena and Hera in that judging of who is the most beautiful goddess in this world. See, that when Athena frequently lends courage and support to Achaean heroes such as here Achilles, and in the epic further when we will study, we'll come across that she will also encourage the heroes like that of Diomedes and Odysseus also. So Athena came down from heaven. Okay, white-armed Hera sent her. Athena came to the battlefield not because of her own will, rather Zeus's wife, Athena's mother, Hera sent him. Hera is called white-armed Hera here. She cherished both the men. That means Athena, she means Athena cherished. Here cherished means a kind of a taking care. Okay, and he took care, he sought his love, not the single man, but both of them, both Achilles and also the Agamemnon. But here we will discover that Athena will not go to that Agamemnon, but he cares for both of them. But Athena came to Achilles only. Okay, and then cared for them equally, and in her heart, in Athena's heart, the care is for both Achilles and both Agamemnon. Athena stood behind Achilles. So Athena came and stood behind Achilles, grabbed him by his golden hair. Athena's beauty is also not a kind of a decreasing thing, but not a sort of thing. She is also very much beautiful. Actually, in that judging, that means who is the fairest goddess, among all the goddesses, only these three women were remained. One is Aphrodite, Hera and Athena. That means her beauty is also very much charming. And the beauteous thing is of Athena is her beautiful hair, and that is golden hair. So he, that means Achilles, was grabbed. Here grabbed means to control of, not means grabbing or someone holding someone or someone catching him very tightly. Okay, you're taking control with her long golden hair. And that incident, that means the holding Achilles by Athena, was invisible to all. That means goddess Athena is not visible to anybody else except that Achilles. In astonishment, he turned. So while Achilles is very much angry. So who has the dare to come and grab him in such a manner? So he turned in astonishment. He turned in great surprise behind. At once, he recognized that it is Peleus Athena. Here, the word Peleus has been significant. Now we have to understand what is the meaning of the word Peleus. Peleus means, it has the meaning like that of to brandish or turn as a weapon. Someone has the quality, who has the beauty and who has the quality to turn into the vileness. That means he can be very much caring, at the same time he can be very much revolutionary, very much rebellious. And on the other hand, it also means youth, or you can say young woman. But if we go deeper in Greek mythology, Athena had once slain a kind of a man, and he was a kind of a very vile person, and that man name was Peleus. It's a kind of a beast. Okay, then it was the first mythological story, and that's why after killing Peleus, Athena has been rewarded with the name Peleus Athena. That's the first myth. And if you go deeper with the second mythological story, Peleus was the daughter of that once sea god, and that name of the sea god was Triton. She was the, that means that girl, Peleus was the, that means the daughter of Triton, was the playmate of Athena. But once accidentally she was killed during a game, and that name of the game was like that of sparring game. What is sparring game? Sparring game is like that of a boxing game. Okay, so at that point Athena was very much frustrated, and in shock she took her name, that means the name of Peleus, as a sign of grief. So that's why the name Peleus Athena. Got it? Now, the dreadful glitter in her eyes. In her eyes, in Athena's eye, a kind of adjective has been provided, and that is dreadful glitter. Here it suggests that Athena, now seeing those two men fighting with each other, now in extremely fear, she was very much terrified, and that's why her eyes were now glittering. Her eyes are seeming very much like that of burning. Okay, at that point Achilles spoke his words, and that seems that his words had wings. And here his words had wings. That means here nobody can see Athena. Only Achilles is talking with her. So that's why it suggests that his words had wings. Okay, next. Achilles said, "Child of ages bearing Zeus, why have you come now?" Just look at the expression, child of ages bearing Zeus. Zeus is the father of Athena. So that's why Athena is called child. And after that part, ages bearing Zeus. Zeus has a kind of a weapon, and that weapon is very much powerful, and that is in the look at the bottom, the ages Zeus special shield. It is a kind of special shield, the sight of which has the power to terrify men and make them run away. So the weapon, that shield, was so much powerful that all human mortal have fear seeing that kind of a shield. Okay, Zeus sometimes lends it to the other gods. That when in the time of necessity, all other gods go to Zeus and owe it or lend it to get that battle or to do some battle against other. Okay, next. Do you wish to see how overbearing Agamemnon is? So, my dear goddess, you are here just for that, to see how overbearing, that means how arrogant, how haughty Agamemnon is. That's why you are kind. You are a beautiful goddess, and you are the symbol of chastity, beauty. Why have you come here? So it's a kind of question to Athena by Achilles. And then I will tell you where all this is going to lead. And then Achilles is alarming to Athena that all these kind of things which Agamemnon is doing now is not the good things, is a very vile thing. And if you look at that, what will be the result of it? And then he speaks that arrogance, that means the arrogance of Agamemnon will soon cost him his life. And then Achilles was so much angry that he says to Athena that if Agamemnon could not control his anger, his sword, that means Achilles' sword, will not remain aloof without doing anything to that man. That means he will attack that man, and as a result Agamemnon will be killed. That means he will have to lose his life. Okay, next. Glittery-eyed Athena then spoke in reply. So after listening this, Athena spoke. I came down from heaven to curb your passion. Then the intention why Athena have come here has been discussed. She said, I came down from heaven. You have to understand heaven here. Actually, heaven is in Christian mythology, but in Grecian mythology, heaven is actually that city of Olympus. Okay, so here heaven means that Olympus. So she came from that place, that Olympus, to curb your passion. Here curb means to take, or you can say to restrain your passion. That means the passion of Achilles. Here passion means not a kind of a desire to do something. Here passion means that means present mental condition. That means present mental haughtiness. Okay, got it. Then if you obey, then Athena said, I think you are immortal and I am the goddess, and I wish that you should obey me. So that's why Athena is talking to Achilles that if you obey, then she said, white-armed Hera sent me. Do you know why I have come here? Because the ultimate queen, and that is the very popular and very powerful Hera have sent me. Okay, she loves you both alike. That means Hera loves not only you, Achilles, and she also loves very much Agamemnon, and she also cares both of you equally. Then he said, then rather he gives suggestions. Give up this quarrel. Please stop this quarrel. Don't draw your sword. And as you know, Achilles was in a mood to kill that guy, that Agamemnon, and his hand was still touching his own sword with the handle. So that's why Athena is alarming. Athena is warning that don't draw your sword out. Fight him with words. And she rather suggests Achilles that don't do some physical battle. If you want to do the battle it with your own words, with your own logic. So he becomes disgraced, and she continuously giving that suggestion by in such a manner, and to that extent that you continuously rebuke him, you continuously do your words like that of shower of rain with so much abusement to Agamemnon that means that Agamemnon should feel that he is ashamed of him. Okay, and then for I say to you, and for I, that means I, Athena, I am saying for you, and this will happen, and I know you are a warrior, and I think such kind of incidents will come to you, and I am very much sorry for that, because of Agamemnon's anger and arrogance, because I am very much sorry. That means impurated feeling, impurated heart, that Agamemnon's arrogance someday gifts 3 times greater than this girl will be set down before you. Don't be haughty, don't be sorry now, don't be sad now, because I know that man is very powerful. But if you accept this time, if you control your heart, if you control your anger for this time, I'm sure that in recent future, you will be given a gift far better than this. The name of the girl is Briseis, far better, even 3 times better, 3 times greater than this girl. Here, this girl means Briseis. Okay, so control yourself. Please control your heart and obey my words. Okay, and then swift-footed Achilles answered Athena. Next, Goddess, man should follow your instruction, though angry in their hearts. Then Achilles assured a very ultimate truth that we are the men, and what I believe, that means what Achilles believes, is that we should always pursue, we should always obey our gods and goddesses. Whatever anger is in our heart is not the concern. It is your desire. That means you are the prime one and we are the worshipper of you, so we have to obey you. So that's the ultimate truth actually. It's better so, and I believe it is better for me also. The person who is obedient to the gods attend to all the more. And I know one particular truth is that a man who is very much pure, who is very much obedient to the gods, he is pursued, he is followed by the gods also, he is held by the gods also. So here Achilles is feeling very much lucky that Athena came to him instead of to Agamemnon. So it is a kind of honorary thing for Achilles, so he is very much pleased with it. And after that, obeying Athena's words, Achilles relaxed his fist on the silver hilt and pushed the massive sword back in its scabbard. So the curing kind of medicine has been done with the words of that goddess Athena, and the result is seeming to us. Achilles relaxed his fist. That means prior it, Achilles was holding that handle of the sword in very much anger. Now his hand became very much relaxed, and he pushed the massive sword back in its scabbard, in its sheath where the sword was actually kept. Athena then returned to heaven. So the work of Athena is now over. Now she is returning to heaven, that means to Olympus. And that is also the home of Zeus. Zeus, the god, the father, the king of gods and goddesses, who bears the aegis, that means that shield. Okay, so you have to understand that while Athena was there, Athena was not empty-handed. He was loaded with that aegis, that the shield of Zeus and the other gods. So Athena returned, and she is now living there. Then Achilles turned again to Agamemnon, Atreus's son, with harsh abuse, his anger still unabated. So now Achilles turned to Agamemnon again, and that person with harsh abuse, now he is not in a mood to battle with that man with physically. Okay, he is now in a mood to give him the reply with his own words, with his own logic, and his anger is not still without any kind of reduction or in intensity or losing the strength. You drunken sot, dog-eyed, dear timid coward. You drunken sot. Sot mean a kind of a habitual drunkard who always loaded with wine. So Achilles first abused that man with the term drunken sot. That means you always kept yourself with the liquor, with the wine. And then another expression like that, dog-eyed. That means a person who always looks or sneaking for the other property. That means the term is very much popular whenever you see that in a funny way, that a girlfriend, a boyfriend were walking through the streets. Even the boy who is like that of that boy, that boyfriend and girl, that boyfriend, okay, have not any girlfriend. So seeing the girl, a kind of a feeling will arise within himself. So he will look at that girl very funnily, or he will try to have the desire that if I get that girl. So that kind of looking, that kind of seeing is called dog-eyed. Don't take it otherwise. It's a kind of funny way of discussing so that you can understand. Okay, then dear timid coward, like deer, he kept that Agamemnon kept hidden while an war is going on. So in the time of war, when war came, Agamemnon always kept himself hidden, so that the top kind of things he was not to in a mood to accept. Okay, and that's why Achilles said that, dear timid coward, you were never strong enough within yourself. That means you, as a man with virtue, you are a totally void person. You have not such kind of thing to arm for war side along with other comrades. If you talk about your skill in battle, as a soldier, you are a very weaker person. You never desire, you never in a mood to go to the battlefield with your other companion, with your other soldiers. Rather, you choose to walk behind them, okay, or venture with Achilles, bravest on a raid. And he also abused him on like that. Whenever we went to raid a kind of city, a kind of a place, you always remain behind. The first and foremost and forefront part has been taken by our bravest warriors, our Athenian warriors. And to you, that smells too much like death. And if you ever thought of fighting from the forefront, it seems to you like that death is at the doorstep of your house, of your body. So that's why you choose to go to the battlefield from behind the other soldiers. You are a coward. No, you would much prefer to stroll around throughout the wide Athenian army. No, that we know. You are not expected to do that thing. Rather, you would much prefer, or you choose to stroll around. That means roaming all the where aimlessly like a vagrant, and after that throughout the wide Athenian army, roaming throughout all the Athenian army, all the camp, just for one thing, to grab, to take the gifts from a man who speaks against you. You have the only and the most appropriate talent is that grabbing the gifts from others. You always try to find out the fault in others, and by recognizing that fault, you always choose to betray that guy by taking the gifts from them forcefully. And in that work, you are the toppest person, okay? A king, and then he's blaming to Agamemnon is not stopped here, it is still continuing. A king who gorges on his own people. Even the term gorges means it's a kind of a thing very much related to food, with utmost gluttony. So here Achilles said that a king whose desire is uncontrollable, whose desire is unfathomable, that means his desire has no end. And you saw your desire upon your people. So it's a kind of a very silly thing, very trivial thing, not trivial in the sense of that triviality, but the meaning, the intention is very much a kind of a lower kind of thing. You lord it over worthless men. That means you saw your power, you lord it means you saw your power, or that power, that gorging power, that grabbing power, you saw over your men who are worthless. Worthless because of not that they are worthless in their skill of battling, because of they are worthless because they have not the power which you possess. That means you are the chosen king of our city. That's why they are worthless. If not, son of Atreus, this would be your last offense. And I'm certifying you. I am completely in a mood to say that I say you that this time this arrogance showing to me, and you are talking that you will take my gift as your gift with your force, and this offense which you are now doing, even threatening to us to take all of our gifts, is a kind of offense, and I wish that it is or it will be your last offense. I will tell you, swear, I'm oathing I am promising a great oath at this point. So just listen, Agamemnon. I'm standing here and giving you the swear that, and at this point this swear will be listened by everybody, and everybody will learn that how much a person could be in his heart so far as his honor, so far as his respect is concerned. And then he saw that by the sceptra, by touching this sceptra, okay, sceptra means is a kind of staff. By touching it, somebody promises a staff related to the royal party, royal king. Okay, so he is touching that part, that sceptra, and then said, which will never sprout. That means this sceptra will not arise, will not sprout. Sprout means something germination, related to germination or production. So that will not produce leaves and shoots again. That means this sword I will never take on my hand, and I will never fight for you. So this is the significance of that. Will never sprout and leaves and shoots again, since past ripped away from its mountain stump. Whenever a tree or a sapling has been uprooted from a particular place, the connection, the unity between the tree and that particular place, particular soil is completely over. So he said that this time, if my owner is destroyed, then think of it, I will not come here again and fight for you. So that's the significance. Not bloom anymore, as the tree loses the power of developing on that particular soil. So Achilles is also talking that if I am dishonored here, I will not also fight for you. Now that bronze had sliced off leaf and bark. Now that bronze has been compared with that Agamemnon and Agamemnon's heart. So the main culprit in the case of that tree is that if that is bronze to separate the leaf and bark, and here that bronze is you Agamemnon. The sceptra, Atreus's sons take in hand whenever they do justice in Zeus's name, and the sceptra when they took in their heart and to do justice, that will be no more. Okay, an oath on this has power, and whenever we oath someone like that in our court scenario, Gita has been tasked by the person who is giving the testimonials. Okay, so that kind of thing has been done by Achilles also. He tasked the sceptra and take this oath. So he speaks to Agamemnon that it is not a normal oath. I take that oath by touching this sceptra. So don't take it lightly. Okay. On this I swear, and he once again it's continuing his swearing. The time will come when Atreus' sons all miss Achilles, a time when in distress you will lack my help, a time when Hector, that man-killer, destroys many warriors. And then he speak about the future, that in future you will feel the need of me, when the armies of the Troy city will come and attack us, that means our Achaeans, and in that time of distress you will seek my help. You will try to find out me and try to think that if I am here and I will fight for you, and you will feel that I stood here. And at the time when that man, that Hector, who is supposed to be the man killer, who has no mercy while battling, Hector is the son of Priam and the brother of Paris, and who will come here and destroys all the warriors mercilessly. At that time you will feel who is Achilles and whose support is how much mean to you. Then grief will tear your hearts apart, because you sent Achilles' finest men. And at the end moment, with those last line, he speaks that you will feel, and at that moment you will ashamed of him, and in grief you will feel that why we get heartened that man, the man who was very much true to you, very much true to all the Achaeans, and you dishonored him. That means that Achilles or ashamed him, disrespect him. So you will feel it. Okay, and at the same time he is also comparing himself as finest of the Achaeans. It's a kind of self-priding. Okay, next. So the son of Peleus spoke. So now the speaking of Achilles is over. Throwing to the ground the spectra with the golden stars, then he sat down directly facing furious Agamemnon. So in that state of disappointment, he threw the spectra. Okay, where? On the golden stars. Just remember the golden stars. Why on the golden stars? Actually, the Achaeans have in their armies the horses. So there is a stable. Okay, so that stable is built with the gold. So that particular, the war is named Trojen War, and a kind of a race, it's called a race of horse, it's called Trojan. So that's why that reference is very much important. Okay, just remember it, golden stars. Okay, then he sat directly facing furious Agamemnon. Okay, and after that Nestor stood up, and you need to know who is Nestor actually. Nestor is a king, and he is the king of he was the king of Peleus, and he is very much known for his advanced of age, and he is very much pride himself as a advice giver. He don't care about who would listen to him, and he don't care people would listen or not, and even he wouldn't care if they are interested to listen it or not. He will go on with his advice, with his speaking to others. Here Nestor stood up. Clear, sweet orator from Peleus. So he has been described as the sweet orator. Okay, sweet speaker from that city from which Nestor came. It was called Peleus, and his voice is compared with the dropping of honey. Just look at the next line. Sweeter than honey, the words flowed from his tongue. Just like the dropping of honey from the honeybee, similarly, the words of Nestor come from the mouth of him just like that, in a sweeter mood, in a pleasant manner. In his own lifetime, 2 generations of mortal men had come and passed away. All those born and raised with him so long ago in sacred Peleus. He always demands that in his lifetime he have seen 2 generations of people came, raised and died. So it's a kind of a to him that age is just like a number. Okay, and then now he ruled a 3rd generation of his people. So now he is ruling the 3rd generation of people, concerned about their common good. So Nestor is also now become concerned about their common good. That means the Achaeans' common good, for the betterment of Achaeans, he said. So what he said? He said, alas, this is great sorrow for Achaeans. So he is feeling disappointment seeing those 2 men fighting with each other. So he said, Alas, this is great sorrow. It's a kind of a sorrow not to both of you. It is a sorrow for whole the armies, whole the people of Athens. That Priam and Priam's children will be glad. And if the news of your fighting is heard by Priam, they will be very much glad that we are fighting with each other. The hearts of the other Trojans swell with joy. So, by listening that news, not only the Priam and his sons, even the people of Trojans will be very much satisfied that they need not to fight with us. Rather, they are fighting with each other. Okay. Should they find out about such quarreling? So why? Why are you fighting with each other? Do you want to know? Do you want to inform the Trojans that within ourselves there is a kind of a break? There is a kind of divisions, a fight between you two among Janans, the very best for counsel or combat. And then he advised, what should we need to do? We should combat, we should fight, or we should counsel each other. But listen, and then he spoke, and after that he wanted to take the attention of all. So that's why he said, listen, you are both younger men. If I talk about rather your experience, you are very inferior to me. And I have been, if you try to think of me, I have been the colleague of better men than you. Just remember it, just listen it. You are just a baby to me. Because more powerful warriors were my companion, my colleague. These men who never showed me any disrespect. And you are the newborn babes, just born few years ago. Just think of them. Even they were very much courageous, they were a great warrior, they never disrespect me. And here now you both, the younger one, even you have not the quality of such warrior, and you are showing disrespect to me. Men whose like I have not seen again. Just listen. Those men, those warrior, the quality of them I have never ever seen yet. And I believe that such talent I will never find in this earth again. And then he, one after another, took the names of them. First, he speak of Peleus. Who is Peleus? Peleus was the son of Ixion, and he was the companion and helper of the hero Caesus. In many adventures he went there, and even including the descent into Hades, while they went there into that underworld to carry a beautiful princess or named Proserpine. I think you have heard the name Proserpine. Maybe in our West Bengal syllabus, that maybe in 8th or 7th class, there is a story of Proserpine. If you have not, please try to read out the story. It's a fine story. So that person, that man, that hero, Peleus, went underworld and saved Proserpine to bring on that Olympus. Okay, that's that man, that warrior was my colleague. And then he also took other name, that name of Dreus. Dreus was a leader, and he was the leader of the Lapids against the fight with Centaurs. Okay, and he is also a participant of the battle, and that began at the wedding party where he killed the centaur, and who actually are very much enraged due to the activities of centaur, because in that wedding feast he that centaur had killed his fellow, his Lapith's fellow named Corytheus and Eucrus. So that's why he was very much infuriated, and he was even the leader of that Lapiths, and he killed that beast. Just think of it. That man was also my colleague. And then a shepherd to his people, and a man who was always in care for his own people, and that named is Caeus, that Caeneus. He is also that Caeus is also a Lapith. He is also a warrior, but unfortunately he died in the battle between the Lapiths, between your side, that means his own side, and against the centaurs. And then he talk about Exadios. Exadios is also one of the Lapiths who fought bravely against centaurs, and especially in the fighting at the point of a mountain. Okay, and then he also speak of Polyphemus, and he compared Polyphemus with that of god-like Polyphemus. So as a Lapith, that Polyphemus remembered for having fought against the centaurs, and his deeds, his skill in fighting was so much that he has been compared with godlike. And then Theseus is also another Lapith, and he is remembered to all that he is the son of Achilles. And all god-like men, that mean all men like that of Peleus, Atreusson, Caeus, Exadios, Polyphemus, Caesus, all are the mightiest earth-born men and strongest. These are not the mere warrior, they are the mightiest fighter who have ever born in this earth, and they were the strongest one. And then the enemies they fought against were strong. Not only that they were strong, even the competitor, even their enemy was also very much strong. Okay, the most powerful of mountain centaurs, and they were the mountain centaurs. I have almost murmured the name of centaurs for a few times talking about all this hero. We need to know who were centaurs. Actually, centaurs were a race of beasts having the head, trunk and arms of a man, but with the body of a horse. In nature, in characteristics, they are very much vile. That's why they have to killed by the Lapiths, all this hero. Okay, got it. But they destroyed those creatures totally. In spite of these beasts' power, their great combating, snitching power, all these warriors killed its centaurs, and not only killed a few one or most of the one and leave one or two. They completely destroyed the complete race of centaur. Associate of theirs, I came from Peleus, and just think of them and think of me, and I came from that city of Peleus, a long way from that land, from that particular land of Lapiths. From there I came, and I was summoned personally, and I have been called personally. I fought on my own behalf by myself, and I'm still a fighter, and I am fighting on my behalf, and that's the prime truth. No man alive on earth could now fight them, and I'm challenging you that if they were alive, no man in this earth could fight with them. They have such tremendous power, has such tremendous skill in that fight. Yet they heard me and followed my advice. But still, just think of it. In spite of their power, in spite of their skill, such great warriors even followed my words, followed my guidance. But you both of you are not such kind of things. Rather, you are quarreling with each other. So, listen, both of you. That's what's best now. And I think you should rather listen me. You should respect my speaking. You should respect my advice. Agamemnon, you are an excellent man. Agamemnon, I know you are a very gentle man. But do not take prizes from Achilles. I think it is not the ethical thing or moral thing to take the gift of Achilles, that girl prizes from him. And then let that pass. Let the girl to remain with Achilles. Atreus's son gave her to him first, because all the Achaeans have decided, and after that they have gifted that girl to him. And you, listen, Peleus' son, and then his attention shifted from Agamemnon to Achilles, and then he said, listen, O Peleus' son, don't seek to fight the king. You are so much enraged that you are now in a mood to fight with the king. Don't do that. Not as your enemy. Don't think your king as your enemy. The scepter-bearing king, whose powerful authority comes from Zeus. Just think of it. He is a king, and he has been chosen by Zeus himself. The scepter he is possessing is not the scepter he developed or he built. It is the scepter of Zeus. Zeus has given him the power, and you are quarreling with Agamemnon. Never shares owners equally. Don't do that by thinking yourself as similar to Agamemnon. Okay, Achilles, you may be stronger. Achilles, I believe you are stronger than that Agamemnon in your skill and in your ways of fighting. Because since your mother was divine, Achilles' mother Thetis was a water nymph, and that's why she has the divine power. So that's why Nestor is also accepting the fact that you are stronger than Agamemnon, because your mother was divine, but he is more powerful. But think of the position of power. In that place, Agamemnon is more powerful than you, because for he rules more men, because he is the ruler of many people. All the Achaeans have to follow him. But you, again, he is shifting his attention to Agamemnon. You, son of Atreus, take your anger. Please take your anger. Set aside. I urge you, I am requesting you, your rage against Achilles, who provides in the middle of war's evils. Just think of it. Think of Achilles' role in battle. He always stands forefront in the battle. You need his help. So don't try to enrage Achilles also. Don't try to disrespect him. A powerful defense for all Achaeans, because a powerful defense is here, Achilles. So he is a powerful defense for all Achaeans. Okay, then mighty Agamemnon then replied to Nestor, Then Agamemnon replied to Nestor. He said, "Old man, everything you say is true enough. Oh dear old man, whatever you said is true. I am not denying it. But this man wants to put the rest to shame. But this man just putting his finger to that guy, that Achilles, and he said that man put all the men to shame. Rule all of us. Even he is not a mere participant of the court. I am the king, and in spite of having a mere warrior, he just thinking of himself a king, and he assumed or he abused even me, and thinking of him as a leader, and always speaking as like that he is the leader, and he loved it everyone over everyone, and he sought his power over everyone. But some, I think, will not obey him. But just think of it. Yeah, all the Athenians believe that he is a warrior, great warrior, and they are obeying. But I think that number is very much meager. Achilles is honored by some people, but many are there in my place. That means they believe that Achilles is that showing of power, that own boasting is very much unnecessary thing, and they will also in my side. So what if the gods who live forever made him a spearman? What is the benefit of that? And he always boasts that he is the mightiest among all the Athenians. But what is the need of that man's strength? That because the strength which Achilles possesses is not the acquired strength of him, because it was the gift of some other gods, because gods give the power to him. Is that some reason we should let him say such simple things? Yeah, he is the son of that divine lady, that means Thetis' son, and that's the only reason that we should have to obey him? No, it's not the actual thing. If a man is truly good, then we should follow him. But that man, we will not follow him. That he is he has the power of that divine power. And you know, Achilles' power was so much that nobody would kill him, instead his heel. And that's why Achilles' heel is a kind of a term which is used as to suggest someone's weakness. So that's why Agamemnon is in a mood to say that if Achilles has the godly existence within himself, and that is not the only issue that we should follow him. Okay, and we should listen to his abusement, his arrogance. Okay, after that, Achilles, interrupting Agamemnon, shouted. So listening it, Achilles became very much enraged, and he started shouting, "I would be called a coward, a nobody, if I held back from any action because of something you might say." So it will be very much disheartening. It will be very much a cowardly kind of thing if I do not speak here, or if I do not take any action here. Order other men about. If you want to order, if you want to give any direction to other men, then do it. Then do it by yourself. Don't tell me I am not the slave of you. Don't tell me what I should do, what I should not to do. I will not obey you anymore. And at that point, I am taking that oath that I will not obey you. But I will tell you this. But I'm going to tell you this. Remember it well. Just remember it well in your mind. I will not raise my hand to fight about that girl. I'm declaring that if you want to take the girl Briseis from me, I will not defend or I will not try to protect that girl. No, against you or any other man. If you want to take the girl, Briseis, by yourself, I will not defend her. Even if you try to take that girl by sending other men, I will not also protect her. I will leave her with these two men, with the men, if you have sent them to bring the girl from my place. You Achaeans gave her to me, because you people of Achaeans give me that girl as a gift, and that gift was not a kind of mere thing that I was not a person to deserve that gift, and you give me. I deserve it, and that's why you have gifted the girl to me. And now you seize her back again, and now you are taking the girl by force. It's unfair. It is really a kind of a simple thing. But you will not take another thing from my swift black sheep. And he is now in a mood to say that, yeah, that's the last one you can get. But after that, if you try to get anything from me, just forget it. Just forget it. I will not give you. You will get nothing else with my consent. You will not get anything from me after that without my consent. If I wish, if I think I should come here and I should fight for my country, then it is okay. If I am dissatisfied at that point and I still remain it, and you try to pursue me, you try to get something from me, it will not of no use. You will not get anything from me without my consent. If you would like to see what happens, if you want to take it, then do it. Just try to do it. My spear, my weapon will quickly drip with your dark blood. If you try to do such kind of thing, then I will not keep myself without killing you. I will kill you, and I will color my sword with the dark blood of you. That means thick blood of you. So that's all, and till that point I'm completing today. It's a long video, and my wish is that to take the class with 1 hour, and in that media mode, in YouTube mode, or you can say in video mode. I think it's not a kind of a hazardous thing to you, because you can see it, you can look at the video anytime. If you have the link, and if you have remembered our channel, just go into the channel and search the videos, you will find it. And even I am thinking that I will separately put all these videos with a playlist, okay, and in playlist you will find it.